It's been 2 weeks since I last shaved, and I'm growing a beard. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's funny, when I say 2 weeks, it makes me think of Total Recall, the scene where Schwarzenegger is trying to get to Mars and he's at the spaceport. I love that movie. Considered it a divorce. All right, not the greatest Arnold impression. There was nothing about choppers or whether or not we need to get there. But 2 weeks. So I know what you're thinking. What happened to week one? Well, the truth is, I got some new speakers and I got distracted. So didn't make a video. But 1 week is boring, you know? Like, what happens after 1 week? Nothing. 2 weeks. That's when things get interesting. So 2 weeks. I want to talk to you about what I'm feeling and thinking at the 2 week mark. First thing is it's kind of itchy. It's itchy under here, under my chin, like just to the left and right side of the chin. Probably not a coincidence that this is one of the heavier growth areas on my face. Luckily, we've got beard oil, and I'm using it pretty much twice a day. So you got to take care of that growing beard, especially when it's at this early stage and it's gonna feel itchy. Later on down the line, it'll improve. But at this point, I'm using that twice a day, that beard oil, and it seems to help. It helps a bit. Doesn't completely cure it, but it's not unbearable. You know, the itchiness. It's like a minor nuisance. It's not something that's a deal breaker for me. But really, what I want to talk about is the way I feel about how the beard looks. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think it looks like bleeping. I have no idea how this is going to grow into the kind of beard that I want to grow. I want that thick, full beard, that continuous, uninterrupted growth that looks like a carpet on my face. So, the other thing I want to do is actually sort of describe my thoughts and feelings when I look at myself in the mirror. And that generally that's, your face is right up against the mirror and you're just focused on all of the flaws. So let's do that. Let's jump into the mug shots. I call these mug shots because I typically have a neutral facial position. I think when you smile for these pictures where we're trying to scrutinize the beard, it becomes a little bit more difficult to see the beard itself, just focused on the silly grin. Anyway, so let's start with the front here. Front on, arguably this is the best view of my face and the beard because you can see the denser parts better. Like I said before, I feel like the strongest parts of my beard are the mustache and goatee. That said, there is a big giant hole right in the center of my chin. And, there's like a handful of hairs growing in there. And I'm concerned that it's going to look weird and be thin when it's longer. And I don't see how that's going to grow into a nice looking front. You can see the other two areas to the left and right of the soul patch, which I think are a little on the thin side. Ideally, the soul patch extends the length of the lip, left and right, and is like right under the lip. You see guys with that kind of soul patch that extends the full length there, and it looks good. I like that. That's what I want. I just want thick, full hair everywhere. Gosh darn it. So, elephant in the room, I'm not a young man, and you can tell by these close-ups that there's a lot of white in my beard. Don't be concerned. This is not going to happen to you. In a previous life, I was the kind of person who left my shopping carts in the middle of the parking lot and didn't put them away, so this is what I get, a white beard. Let's jump over to the left side. The left side is, in my opinion, the stronger side. And that is because although it is thinner on the cheeks than it is on the chin, which is evident here, it's thicker, it's denser than it is on the right side. Now, there is this whole region that I've marked here where it gets really thin. And I don't love that. I want a nice, stark line of continuous growth there all the way down connecting to the mustache. That doesn't happen here for me. It doesn't really connect to the mustache. It connects down into the goatee area. And there's a big giant gap, which I don't love. But this is what I'm looking at every time I'm looking in the mirror. I'm not saying Yeah, that's a good strong front. I'm saying, man, look at all these huge gaps. Look how thin the growth is. Right side. The right side is comparably thinner than the left side, just in general on the cheeks. And there are several areas. This trapezoidal area on the cheek where there's a big patch, just like the left side, it does not connect to the mustache. It gets kind of thin and weak as the cheek extends down toward my lips. And there's even a little bit of a gap, not as big of a deal around the jaw toward the back of the neck there. That really becomes an issue if I'm trying to wear a short, tightly cropped beard. I'm less concerned about that part than I am about the rest of it. These are the things that I'm looking at when I'm scrutinizing my face in the mirror and I'm saying, how on earth is this ever going to turn into a full beard? Those are the questions I have. Those are the feelings that I have. And I'm really channeling my thoughts and feelings from 3 years ago when I first went into this process, because I know that down the line, things are going to come together. Like, shockingly, I was really surprised by how things filled in a bit. Now, to be clear, they're never going to fill in completely. There'll always be this thinness, there will always be these gaps, but it'll get somewhat mitigated by some length. One final thought before I let you go. If I didn't know better, if I had not gone through this process 3 years ago, based on the way this looks now, I would probably shave it off. And I wouldn't be surprised if you have done that or are having similar thoughts. So stick it out. Good things will happen. Next time it'll be week 3. Until then.